Hello friends, welcome to Investing Right. I am Tenny.
Hi, Ken. This is
Yes.
Govind here. So, like you had explained regarding doing investments on a monthly basis, right? Like SIP kind of a thing. Huge corrections in the market, right? Like what happened last year in March and April. Like how to take advantage of.
So if you don't have to track that, that is why we go with mutual funds. And that is why we are going for monthly disciplined investment. So all this in the last 40 years of stock markets, what all things have happened? The Pokhran thing, assassination of Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, border tensions, Kargil war, dot-com bust. After all those weeks was 100 has become 52,000. So don't you think it is still growing? Avoid the noise. You invest in this, definitely go up. Your question has some relevance if you are going for a lump sum investment. Maybe market is at a high 1 year, it had a relentless run. So maybe next 1 year we might get a negative return. That can happen. So only a lump sum investor should be worrying that way. If you are a SIP investor, history of last 40 years says that you will multiply your money 520 times, like what happened with the Sensex from 1978. So you shouldn't be worried.
So, consider you given an example of S Bank, right? Like if someone is invested into individual stocks, like how often we need to track it.
That and all is an advanced topic we will cover in the. It's already covered, but then you need to check my channels, and there is a Telegram channel. You can join that, and we can have the discussions. Why? Because see,
Sure.
it all takes time. If individual stock large cap category, then it need not have that much continuous monitoring. But if it's a small cap, you need to watch that. So it all depends. Like so, that's an advance. So only once you have learned these things, no. Now we are talking only on novice how to invest in the markets.
Any Anup here. Kenny,
Yes.
how do the mutual funds compound? Is it a regular basis or is it a recurring kind of thing, or how can we equate it with the bank interest basically?
The equity investments, the companies, they give a inflation beaten return. Inflation beaten return means no company will be, see, we would have bought Colgate paste in 1980s. The Colgate paste was 5 rupees. I remember a big, this one. Now that itself is 80. That means depending on what is the inflation that will be built in and the companies will be making a profit on the top of that and it will be making. That will translate to that mutual fund manager getting that money on your behalf. That will be added. So every year on a compounding basis, this money will be added. It's not buy a stock of Zomato. It's not that they take our money and invest in FD, right? Then we might be getting only 5.5%. They are doing business. That business grows. Any business grows in a compounding manner. Even if you are talking of a small stationery shop near your house, that will be on a compounding basis. First year it might be a loss, then it might be maybe 10,000 per annum. Then likewise only all these companies have come up. So that is the beauty. This asset class, there is no asset class in the human history which has given this much return. So that is all past. There is no guarantee for future thing. I'm not telling that next 5 years may everything will become 3 times, but then it guarantees. And so inflation beaten return things means the inflation is already taken care and this one. So a company has grown to a particular size will grow. You can just check the sales volume growth of airlines or even a small company or anything, CDSL or even ICICI Bank or a small bank like Federal Bank, how their revenues and everything is growing day by day. So that will be on a percentage basis, it will be growing.
So, which kind of mutual fund is good, active or passive?
That is a question. So you need to watch my channels to which explains like it should be a balance between active mutual funds plus passive ETFs. I prefer ETFs and not mutual funds.
But the
The
active
index,
mutual funds gives more returns, but the expense ratio is great.
it is same as mutual funds only, but then it is traded in the stock exchange. So ETFs are preferred than a index mutual funds. Then the active mutual funds. Active mutual funds, there are ways of reducing your expense ratio by going for a direct scheme and paying that 0.5%, 0.3% for a Mirai Asset Tax Saver fund. The ratio is 0.29. Don't you mind paying 0.29% for fund which is giving 50, 60% last 1 year? That is the thing.
you to have one session regarding stocks, how whether it is overvalued or undervalued, how we need to calculate. Like for example, if I can take Tata Power, now it is trading at around 133, 135. So I wanted to calculate whether it has any steam left in that, as you say,
Yeah.
or it is still undervalued.
Yes.
So this
So there
also
are- Yes. So
one
we have
video.
already taken sessions on this. It's all available. We have videos how to evaluate the stock, but that may not cover if you just ask for one particular company. How it's a generic thing how it is to be done. Again, stock picking is an art. It's not a science. If it was a science, one Excel sheet and or one artificial intelligence thing would have been enough. Just put the stock name here and you will get the answer at that end. Tata Power was not a buy when it was 65 some months back, but at 135 looks like a very good buy. That is, so it is an art. There are a lot of things into that. Only with experience and being in the market, you will come to know. This is the reason why I'm telling, go with the mutual fund and use the expertise of the fund manager, analytic tools, and everything we should be utilizing. If we are to go, maybe Tata Power is a good company. We have identified that. Maybe some other company we might lose. So if we might be having 20 companies, 5 of them will be doing extremely good return, 5 of them very bad return, others medium return. Finally, we might be getting, let's say, 10%. And in the same, your friend who had invested into mutual funds plus ETF would have got 14%. So that is the thing. So doing extra smart work in stock market may not help. That is my experience. It's always better to go with that. And of course, to learn the markets and all, you can have a small amount. I give a hand holding for this also. So if anyone is interested, we have a wealth management service also. But then you yourself can do by investing in mutual funds. That also, for 1 year, it is always better to know how to do it. Because once you do the mistake at this point of time, no one will be able to correct it, because you might be realizing this. This I can see from the clients who are coming to me. Advice is investing in direct stocks. It's a good thing. Nowadays, a lot of things are available, but then you might be misled by so much information hanging around. Power, you will buy at this price, there may be a good price. After 10 rupees rise, there can be a sell call from many, or once it falls 10 rupees, there can be a sell call, we might sell. So it's always better to use the expertise of the right people.
I have a recurring deposit now because of my dad. They were forcing us to take. So should I stop that and start investing in SIP? And only like a is there a one-time SIP? I mean, mutual fund.
Yes.
Maybe I'm asking very simple question.
Yeah. It is there. So you can do one-time lump sum investments also in any mutual fund scheme. And the bare minimum is maybe 500 in most, 5,000 in some case maybe. Or you can go for SIP. If you're a salaried class, then SIP might be the only option available, and that will also give the rupee cost averaging will happen, because this month market might be high, next month market is low, 100 point low. So you will get the averaging effect over there. But when you put a lump sum, it is again like it is more risky. You might get more return, but then might lose money also, because you put 5 lakhs now and market has gone down 200 points and be there for 1 year, means that years your return would have come down. It is a very tricky question to answer that yes, you will get the return, put in mutual fund. I can't tell that. If you can take the risk, if by understanding the thing, if you should have the conviction, I think guaranteed in this, there is only a high chance of that being happening. If you look at the past, you should do that. You should stop it. You should go for mutual funds if you don't have much investments. So there are a lot of ways by which you should know like how much should be invested in equity. One should be investing 100 minus your age. If your age is 25, then 75% of your assets should be in equity. This is the time you can take risk. So you can, now once you become 40, when your kids sell, you should be a little bit more, you should be winding up, because our days are counted. Maybe 6 times you should reduce. We all have limited capital. We are not Ambanis. So we have a lot of financial goals, we have aims and financial goals lying out there. So one should be aggressively putting into equity for the retirement till you are retiring. Maybe once you retire, the thing is different. A part has to be into investment. And of course, a debt part also has to be there while you are working, but that is taken care by your PF if you are working in India. So here is the easiest way. Here is the most easiest and flexible and audited way of doing this. You put your money, treat it as business. Don't go and do a swing trade. You won't go and do a swing trade for your businesses, right? If you have a stationery shop and a small photocopier the machine shop and all. You won't do a swing trade on that, right? You buying this business today and selling to your friend tomorrow. So you shouldn't do that with a Reliance Industries also or a ICICI Bank also. You should be having a long-term view. Treat them as your businesses. Let whatever happen, let border tension happen, let that happen, this happen, let market correct, but this will all come up. Imagine the catastrophes what has happened over the last 40 years. If market could withstand that, it will withstand anything in future also.
If I'm investing right now, if I'm going to another country for almost after 2 years, then how can I continue my investment?
Your question is not clear. Can you repeat?
So currently I'm 21. I'm starting investing right now.
Okay.
Then I'm going to some other country.
Yeah.
Then how can I continue with the investment? Is it
You can
possible to
continue,
invest
yeah.
from there?
Yes. It is investing in mutual funds from any country is possible. There are some restrictions of investing in some mutual funds from US and Canada, but then otherwise, I don't think there is any restriction. Maybe your status changes depending on your status, NRI and all. You may have to open another account, NRI status account. That is case with your SB account also, right? If you're putting money in your SB account, once you, let's say you became a UK citizen, you have to close that SB account and start an NRI account. Those things will be there, but you can continue investing in this one. There is a big plus point for investing in India. India is a growing economy. So that is why you should focus on India. Okay, I thought of just adding this point too. Yes, Prashant, tell me.
In small case and mutual fund, the fund management is in same method. That is, in small case, the stocks will be changed frequently.
Yeah.
Is it
The
right?
small case is, yeah, I have done a video. Please watch that. Small case is bad. Don't go for small case. You can watch the reasons there. You go with mutual fund, you go with ETF, not with a small case.
I have just started in Miri as a tax saver fund, but recently I'm planning to migrate to another country. So as the same question asked, do I need to stop that right now or during that, like it's actually 1 year since I've started and
Yeah, so you cannot stop that because it is a ELSS fund. There is a lock-in of 3 years. That is one
3
thing.
years. Yeah.
Second thing, once it is lock-in is over, depending on the legal things, check whether you will hold things has to be stopped. But you can continue with the mutual funds maybe in a different format. Same Mirai assets in a different from with an NRI account, starting a broking account with Zerodha in NRI, that way, that format. But I'm not exactly sure like whether you should stop it after 3 years.
The investment method, should I stop or withdrawing is the 3 year?
Oh, you are doing SIP right now?
Yes, yes.
When you go to a foreign place, you're not becoming an NRI that time, right? Only after some time. So till that time, you can always go. Only when your status change, you need to check with the legal expert on this. So watch the video. See, all these things are explained in the YouTube channel, in my video session. Things will be a little bit different from what you would have already heard from elsewhere. Start from the number one. If you want to really understand the strategies and all. So in stock market, it is not the definitions. See, I didn't cover much definitions over here. What is this one? How to do this one? It is not a definition, it's the strategies. And for a simple person, without knowing anything, by the end of this session, they should be able to invest in market. And they can do it through mutual funds. So what are the mutual funds? That's the only thing. So I gave an answer. You invest in any ELSS. You just search which are the best ELSS. You invest in that. That also, that is the bare minimum thing. But then to improve that, you can get a financial advisor's help. Which one to do, how to do, because now maybe you can make some changes of 1 or 2% over there. What happens is that finally, what will determine your final retirement corpus? 3 things: the time which you start investing, right? And the amount you are investing with, and the return percentage it is having every year. Return percentage is getting, we don't have any control, that is a market deciding. And the amount, we have limited capital, so only 10,000, yes, that is also cannot change. The only thing you can change is the time in which you are investing. So you start at 21, even good, because Warren Buffett regrets not investing early. So I thought he would have started at 48. He started at the age of 13 investing. And he's telling that, hey, I should have started much earlier than that. That means just imagine our case. That too, he is a person of last century. So understand the power of equity investing. Use this for your financial goals in a meaningful manner. I'm not telling that you put all your money, sell your home, put everything in stock market, you will make this. That's not a thing. You need to understand the risk associated with that, with the risk, you should be able to do that. Risk is something I can just tell you. Risk is so you should understand the risk. Tell you a story. There was a sage in a village. So the village head was not liking him because of the all unwanted attention this sage is getting. So he wanted to test him. So he went to the sage when in a gathering. So he just got hold of a hummingbird and just asked the sage, "Is this alive?" Okay. So what is it? You know, like if the sage says yes, he will crush that hummingbird and kill that. And if he says no, he will open his hands and that will fly, right? It's told an answer. What was that? Its life is in your hands. So same way, risk is in your hand. You can contain the risk by not over leveraging into more instruments. By, as I told, a mutual fund and ETF might be helpful. You do it in that manner. Have it in the proper manner. That will help you. So that financial planner was just an example. You can change the value. If you can afford to put 20,000 now, well and good. If you can put only 5,000, then still, if you start with 5,000 and do the same thing, you will end up 14. That is also good enough, right? 14 crores is good. And just imagine this 28 crores is equivalent to, and if that 28 crores is still at the age of 60 also gaining 14% every year, that means you are getting around almost 30 lakhs per month as your retirement income. Where in the world you will get 30 lakh per month? Of course, it is after many years. 30 lakh may not be having that much value, but almost equivalent to 2.5 lakh per month. Whatever you are buying for your 2 lakh, that you can do in that point of time. So isn't that great? So 30 lakh is also not, it's not a small amount, though it is in 2057.
മലയാളത്തിലാണ് ചോദിക്കുന്നത്.
പറഞ്ഞോളൂ.
SIP മാർക്കറ്റ് ഹൈയിൽ നിൽക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ പ്രോഫിറ്റ് സ്വിച്ച് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ലോവർ ലെവൽ വരുമ്പോൾ മേടിക്കുന്നത് ഗുണകരമായിരിക്കും?
ഗുണകരമായിരിക്കില്ല. കാരണം ആർക്കറിയാം മാർക്കറ്റിന്റെ ടോപ്പ് എത്രയാന്നുള്ളത്? മാർക്കറ്റ് 21,000ലേക്കാണ് പോണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിലോ ആർക്കറിയാം? നമുക്ക് തിരിഞ്ഞു നോക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ റിയർ വ്യൂ മിററിലാണ് നമ്മൾ കാണുള്ളൂ മാർക്കറ്റ് എവിടേക്കാണ് ഹെഡ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുള്ളത്. സോ ഒരു ലംസം ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ്മെന്റ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഈ ചോദ്യത്തിന് ചെറിയൊരു പ്രസക്തി ഉണ്ടായേനെ. പക്ഷെ അതിന് പോലും ചെയ്യാതെ നമ്മൾ വളരെ സ്മാർട്ട് ആവാതിരിക്കുക, അതിൽ ഇട്ടുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. ഇപ്പൊ ഇന്ദിരാഗാന്ധി മരിച്ചു, രാജീവ് ഗാന്ധി മരിച്ചു, ഇതൊക്കെ കണ്ട ദിവസം ഒക്കെ SIP നിർത്തിയവരൊക്കെ എവിടെയാണെന്ന് ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കി, ഇപ്പൊ ഉത്തരം കിട്ടും. അന്ന് നിർത്തി അവരവിടെ അത് കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്തു. പിന്നെ എന്ന് തുടങ്ങും? മാർക്കറ്റ് താഴെ വന്നല്ലേ പിന്നെയും തുടങ്ങാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. അപ്പൊ ദാറ്റ് വിൽ നമുക്ക് അതിന്റെ അവസരം നഷ്ടപ്പെടും. നമ്മൾ അത് നഷ്ടപ്പെടാതെ നമ്മൾ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കണം.
ഹലോ സാർ, എല്ലാ മ്യൂച്വൽ ഫണ്ടും നമുക്ക് എല്ലാ വർഷം ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ?
ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. അത് കാരണം നമുക്ക് എത്ര വേണമെങ്കിലും മാറ്റാം. ഇതിനെ ചില മ്യൂച്വൽ ഫണ്ട് കമ്പനികൾക്ക് നമുക്കൊരു സ്റ്റെപ്പ് അപ്പ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവർ തന്നെ ഓട്ടോമാറ്റിക് ആയിട്ട് ആ പറയുന്ന പെർസെന്റേജിൽ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നോളും ഓരോ വർഷവും. ഇനി നമുക്ക് വേണ്ട, അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് നമുക്ക് കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ ആയിരിക്കും. നമുക്ക് എൻഡ് ഓഫ് ദി ഇയറിലെ പറയാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് തന്നെ തീരുമാനിക്കാം, ഈ വർഷം ഞാൻ 10,000 ഇടുന്നു, അടുത്ത വർഷം നമ്മളെ പുതിയൊരു SIP ഇത് സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് വേറെ SIP തുടങ്ങിയിട്ട് ഞാൻ 12,000 വെച്ച് പുതിയൊരു SIP വിത്ത് 12,000. അപ്പൊ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പിന്നത്തെ 3 കൊല്ലം 12,000 പറ്റുള്ളൂ എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യുക. കൂട്ടാൻ പറ്റുമ്പോൾ കൂടുതൽ ഇടുക. ഇനി 20,000 ഇടാൻ പറ്റാന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഇത് 12,000 തന്നെ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്തിട്ട് വേറെ നല്ലൊരു SIPയിൽ വേറെ ഈ 8,000 ഇടുക. സോ അതൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ കയ്യിലാണ്. ഇത് ഇത്രയും ഫ്ലെക്സിബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആക്ച്വലി ഇന്ത്യയിൽ വേറെ ഒരു കാര്യത്തിലും ഞാൻ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല. ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു നമ്മൾ RTO റിലേറ്റഡ് കാര്യങ്ങളായിക്കോട്ടെ, ഹെൽത്ത് കെയർ റിലേറ്റഡ് കാര്യങ്ങളായിക്കോട്ടെ, ഒന്നിലും ഇത്ര ബെസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പരിപാടിയില്ല. ഇപ്പൊ അതിനോട് കുറച്ച് അടുത്ത് വരാമെന്ന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ആധാർ കാർഡിന്റെ കാര്യം പറയാം. ആധാർ കാർഡിന്റെ ആ ഒരുമാതിരി നല്ല ഒരു രീതിയിലാന്ന് പറയാം. അതർ ദാൻ ദാറ്റ് വളരെ പറഞ്ഞു. അപ്പൊ ഈ ഇക്വിറ്റി സിസ്റ്റം എന്നുള്ളത് ഇറ്റ്സ് സോ ഫ്ലെക്സിബിൾ.
SIP ഇപ്പം പെർഫോമൻസ് മോശമാണെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പൊ സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് അതിന് ബാങ്കിങ്ങിന്റെ ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഓൺലൈനിൽ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്താണ്, അപ്പൊ ബാങ്കിങ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിൽ പോയിട്ട് ക്ലോസ് ചെയ്യണം?
അല്ല, എവിടെ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തതായാലും നമ്മൾ അസറ്റ് മാനേജ്മെന്റ് കമ്പനിയിലേക്ക് നമ്മൾ അപേക്ഷ കൊടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഓവർ കൊറിയർ ഓർ അവിടെ പോയി നേരിട്ട് കൊടുക്കുകയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബാങ്കിങ് ചാനൽ വഴിയോ കൊടുക്കാം. പിന്നെ SIP ഒക്കെ തുടങ്ങുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ കറക്റ്റ് ഏത് കമ്പനിയാന്നുള്ളത് ഏകദേശം നോക്കിയിട്ട് നല്ലൊരു സ്കീമിലായിരിക്കണം ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. അങ്ങനെ ചെയ്ത് തന്നെ അടുത്തൊരു 5 വർഷത്തേക്ക് ക്ലോസ് ചെയ്യരുത്. ജസ്റ്റ് ഈ 2 മാസം പെർഫോമൻസ് കുറവാന്നുള്ളത് റീസൺ ആയിരിക്കരുത്. കാരണം ഈ 3 മാസം കുറവായിരിക്കും, പിന്നെയായിരിക്കും കൂടുന്നത്. ചിലപ്പോൾ ആ കമ്പനിയിൽ മാക്സിമം ഉള്ളത് റിലയൻസ് ഇൻഡസ്ട്രീസ് ആയിരിക്കാം. റിലയൻസ് കഴിഞ്ഞ 10 മാസമായിട്ട് പെർഫോം ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല, അതുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കാം ഇത് കുറഞ്ഞിരുന്നത്. ഞാനൊരു ഉദാഹരണം പറയാണ്. ചിലപ്പോൾ ഇനി അടുത്ത 2 വർഷം റിലയൻസിന്റെ ആയിരിക്കാം, നിങ്ങളുടെ SIPയുടെ റിട്ടേൺ വളരെ കൂടുതലായിരിക്കാം. അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ഒരിക്കലും നമ്മൾ ഈ സ്മാർട്ട് വേയിൽ ഇതിനെ നോക്കരുത്. നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുമ്പോൾ ചില കാര്യങ്ങളും അതിനുള്ള തത്തുകളൊക്കെ നോക്കിയിട്ട് വേണം, കൺസിസ്റ്റന്റ് ആയിട്ട് നല്ല റിട്ടേൺ ഉണ്ടോ, അത് മോർണിംഗ് സ്റ്റാർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ക്രിസിൽ റേറ്റിംഗ്സ് എങ്ങനെയുണ്ടെന്ന് നോക്കിയിട്ട് വേണം SIP തുടങ്ങാൻ. തുടങ്ങിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ 5 കൊല്ലത്തേക്ക് നിർത്തേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല, അത് താഴ്ന്നോട്ടെ, നമുക്ക് അത് കുഴപ്പമില്ല.
ഇൻവെസ്റ്റിംഗ് റൈറ്റ് മ്യൂച്വൽ ഫണ്ട്സിനെ ഇഴകീറി പരിശോധിക്കുന്നു. അതിന്റെ വിവിധ ടാക്സ് ഒപ്റ്റിമൈസേഷൻ വഴികൾ ഞങ്ങൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു തരുന്നു. നിങ്ങളറിയാത്ത പലതും അതിലുണ്ടാകും. നാട്ടിലിരുന്നു കൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഫേസ്ബുക്ക്, നെറ്റ്ഫ്ലിക്സ്, ആമസോൺ, ഗൂഗിൾ എന്നിങ്ങനെയുള്ള കമ്പനികളിൽ എങ്ങനെ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാം, കുട്ടികളുടെ പേരിൽ മ്യൂച്വൽ ഫണ്ട് എടുത്താൽ കിട്ടാവുന്ന ടാക്സ് സേവിങ്സ് എന്തൊക്കെ, ഒരു നല്ല ഫണ്ട് തിരഞ്ഞെടുക്കുന്നതിനുള്ള ക്രൈറ്റീരിയാസ് എന്തെല്ലാം, അതനുസരിച്ച് ഇപ്പോൾ നിക്ഷേപിക്കാവുന്ന ഫണ്ടുകൾ, റിട്ടയർമെന്റ് പ്ലാനിംഗ് എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്യാം, ഒരു വിൽപത്രം എങ്ങനെ എഴുതാം, മാർക്കറ്റിൽ അവൈലബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ബെസ്റ്റ് ഇൻഷുറൻസ്, ബെസ്റ്റ് 3-in-1 അക്കൗണ്ട്, ബാങ്ക് അക്കൗണ്ട്, കൂടാതെ നിക്ഷേപയോഗ്യമായിട്ടുള്ള സ്റ്റോക്കുകളുടെ അനാലിസിസ്. ഈ വീഡിയോയിൽ ഉള്ള പലതും ഒരു ലൈവ് ഇൻവെസ്റ്റർ ഓഡിയൻസിന് നടത്തുന്ന വെബിനാറിൽ നിന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ഈ ചാനൽ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യാൻ മറക്കരുതേ. നിങ്ങൾക്കിത് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സുമായി ഇത് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുക. താങ്ക്സ് ഫോർ വാച്ചിങ്.